So this is a 45-minute Pilates class that's going to concentrate on the upper body. We're going to begin today by setting yourself up into a neutral standing position. So bring your feet together for me so they're touching. Turn your toes gently out so they're about 10 to 2 position. Lift the heels and walk the feet out so they're now hip width apart. Have a slight softening of the knee, and I'd like you first of all to bring the awareness up to your pelvis and tuck and tilt the pelvis forwards and backwards a couple of times, just getting some movement into that lower part of the body. And then balance halfway between your two extremes. Think about placing your shoulders down your back, opening the chest up nice and wide, lifting through the spine and out through the crown of the head. That's now our standing neutral position. We're going to begin today with some shoulder rolls. I'd like you just to simply bring the shoulders up to the ears, roll them around and drop them down to the floor. Nice and gently. I'm going to incorporate that with some breathing. So I'd like you now to start thinking about breathing in as you scrunch the shoulders up to the ears and breathing out as you lengthen the shoulder blades down towards the floor. And again, breathing in, scrunch, breathing out, press the shoulder blades down. We're going to do that twice more. Inhale up, exhale, push shoulder blades down. Last time, inhale up, exhale down. Good. We're going to take that into some arm circles now. So I'd like you to start by placing the hand on the shoulder and just rotating the arm, making a circle with the arm. Allow the rest of your body just to move freely. If it's comfortable, you can also extend the arm and make a bigger circle. But for some people with shoulder injuries, that's not always comfortable, so you have the option to bring the hand back to the shoulder. And then we're going to go in the opposite direction. Good. Make sure the knees are nice and soft while you're doing this. We're going to do one more. And then relax down. And change sides. Starting off with the hand on the shoulder first. Seeing how that shoulder feels with that movement. And if it feels okay, you can take the arm long and make bigger circles. Again, allowing the body just to move freely. Good. 2 more. And then relax down. Good. Next, we're going to take that into a spine twist. So I'd like you to bring your hands together in a prayer position and glue the thumbs almost on your breastbone. Shoulders are down and relaxed and the knees are soft. And we're going to breathe in. And as you breathe out, you're going to turn just your upper body to one side. And I'd like you to think about keeping the gaze over your hands. So you're not taking your head further than your hands. And then you're going to come back to centre. And we're going to go on the opposite side. So breathe in, breathe out, slowly rotate on the out breath. Inhale, hold. Exhale, back to centre. Now we're going to do that once more on each side. And this time I'd like you to think about keeping your pelvis really still. So breathe in, breathe out, twist to one side. And this time think about keeping this other hip back because it's going to want to follow you round. So I'm working really hard to keep that hip back. Inhale, hold. Exhale, centre. And last time to the other side. Breathing in. Breathe out, other side. Keeping this hip back this time. Inhale, hold. Exhale, centre. Good. Come back to the centre. Release everything off. We're going to take that into a dumb waiter next. So this time I'd like you to have the elbows tucked in next to the body, palms up towards the ceiling. I'd like you to imagine that you've got a towel or a newspaper tucked gently in between your arm and your body, and you're trying to keep hold of that towel. We're going to extend the arms out to the side of the body, so rotate the hands, keeping the wrist in alignment with the elbow. So ideally, nice straight line here. And then we're going to come back to centre. Good. And do that again for me. So breathe out, rotate, squeeze the shoulder blades together, inhale, centre. And again, breathe out, squeeze the shoulder blades. Inhale together. Breathing out. Good. Inhale, center. Now this time we're going to add on to that movement. So we're going to start in exactly the same way. So we're going to breathe out, extend the arms onto that dumb waiter. And now we're going to come into what's called a Cleopatra. So all I'd like you to do is extend the arms. This time turn the palms down towards the floor. And then turn the palms back up. Bring the elbows into that original starting position. And then the hands back. Good. So breathing in. Breathe out. Rotate and extend. All in one fluid movement. Inhale up. Elbows in. And back to center. Good. Breathing out. Trying to make a nice T shape across your upper body so your arms are all in line. And last time, breathe out. Breathing in to come back. Good. And release. Good. So we're now going to start working through the shoulders a little bit more and building some strength in the upper back and the shoulders. So we're going to go into an exercise called chicken wings. And for this one, I'd like you to bring your arms up in a kind of a C-shaped position, I guess. Palms are facing down and the elbows are in alignment with the shoulders and the wrists are in alignment with the elbows. We're simply going to come up with the hands and then up towards the ceiling. Back down with the elbows and then turn the palms back down to the floor. Good. So hands up, hands to the ceiling. Elbows down, palms down. Good. So making sure that the core is engaged when we're doing these exercises. Even though we're working on the upper body, it's still really important to engage through the tummy. So incorporating the breathing this time, so breathing out to move. Inhale to come back down. Good. Breathe out. Inhale. Exhale. Feeling the burn starting to creep in on those shoulders and the muscles down your back. Really starting to work. Good. And we're going to do 2 more after this one. Good. Keep squeezing the tummy. And last one. Up and down. Good. And relax down. Just give the shoulders a little shrug out and loosen everything off. Perfect. Now we're going to go down to the lower half of the body this time. So we're going to start working through the feet and the legs. So we're going to go into some heel lifts. And what I'd like you to do is think about drawing up through the spine, pulling out through the crown of the head. So because we're going to go into a little bit of balance work, you might like to just open out your toes, really spread your feet out to then try and stabilise your base as much as you can. You're going to breathe in to prepare. And on the out breath, you're going to lift up. Lifting the heels off the mats, grow tall, and then go back down to the floor. So breathe in, breathe and out. Whoops, breathe out. There we go. Inhale down. Breathe and out, lift. Inhale down. And if you need to come to the wall for support for this, is absolutely fine. Feel free to hold onto the wall or a desk or anything that you have around. That's absolutely fine. So breathe out, lift. Inhale to lower. So you'll see that I'm going directly up and directly down, trying not to allow the ankles to wobble to and fro. Good. Squeezing the tummy as you lift and lower. Feeling all the muscles in the feet working and the calves as well. We're going to do 4 more. Last 2 and 1. Good. Give everything a little bit of a shake off to loosen it. I'm going to take that into some squats. So your feet should still be hip width apart. And I'd like you to think about keeping the upper body nice and upright so we're not sinking over in our posture. We're going to breathe in to prepare and breathe out and just push the bottom back, almost like you're sitting down on a chair. Lengthen the arms forward in front of you. Inhale up, squeeze the bottom, keep squeezing the tummy. Breathe out. Inhale up. Good. Notice how my shoulders are down and relaxed. And I'm keeping my upper body lifted and my head up. Try to keep the knees over the toes. And try not to let the knees drift from side to side. Good. We're going to do 4 more. Last 2. And last one. Excellent. I'm going to now take that into a move called the scooter. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see what I'm doing. So from here, keep your feet hip width apart, and I'd like you to take the weight into your standing leg. And with the other leg, you're going to lengthen it behind you. So you can see how my knee is slightly softened on this side. My back leg is lifted, so my heel is lifted off the floor. I'm going to start with my arms extended in front of me, and so my shoulders are down and my arms are long. I'm going to bring the foot in towards me and bring my hands back down towards my sides, and then lengthen. Okay, so we breathe out, stretch away, inhale to come back, breathing out, inhale. So you really feel this on your standing leg. That's going to be working quite hard. And you want to make sure that you're keeping your shoulders down away from your ears, so you're not scrunching up like this. We're going to do 2 more. Good. And we're going to turn and do the other side. So take the weight into the opposite leg this time. Soften through that knee. Start by taking the leg behind you, lifting the heel, extending the arms away from you, and then bringing them both in. Breathing out, extend. Inhale. Stretch. Really think about lengthening the hands away from the foot into that nice diagonal line. Core is engaged, the shoulders is down and relaxed. We're going to do 2 more. Last one. Excellent. So make your way down to the mat and set yourself up into a 4-point kneeling position. So I'd like you to think about here having the wrist directly underneath the shoulders and your hands are shoulder width apart. Your knees are directly underneath your hips, and again your knees are hip width apart. We're going to begin with an exercise called swimming, and you're going to lengthen each arm away to begin with. Then we're going to lengthen the legs, and then we're going to see if we can join those 2 movements together. So here, I would like you to look down to the mat. I'm going to talk you through the exercise first, and I'm going to set myself up into the position. So I'd like you to think about having a nice long back, the core is engaged, and the head looks down. So this kind of position. Imagine that you've got a candle on the mat, and that flame is coming up towards your tummy. So you want to engage your tummy to lengthen away from the candle, but without arching your back. Your neck is nice and long, so you're growing out the crown of your head. You're going to begin by taking the weight into one hand, lifting the other hand, and lengthening it along the mat, and seeing if you can lift it in front of you, and then replacing it down. And change. We're going to do 6 on each arm. And what I'd like you to think about here is not allowing the body to drift and lean. So try to keep the weight evenly distributed between both hands and the feet. You're breathing out as you lengthen. We've got 3 more. My nose is staying down towards the mat the whole time. My shoulders are down away from my ears. Breathe out and reach. And last time. Excellent. If you need to, you can come back on your wrist, or sit back on your bottom, give your wrist a little breather for a circle for a moment or 2. When you're ready, we're going to come back into that same position, so into our neutral 4-point kneeling position, and we're going to work on the legs this time. So we're going to keep the arms still, and you're going to lengthen one leg along the mat away from you, and then see if you can lift. It doesn't have to be a really big lift. Change in size, so breathe out, lengthen, and lift. What I'd like you to think about here is engaging through the core, keeping the weight evenly distributed between the hands. And if I'm raising the leg that's closest to you, I need to try to keep the weight into that hand. Otherwise what happens is the weight leans and then you'll start falling over to the side. Lift. So I think that was 3. We're going to do 6. Breathe and lift. Good. And last one on each leg. Good. And again, come back, sit on your heels for a moment, give the wrist a little break. And we're going to see now if we can add those 2 movements together. So when you're ready, come back into that 4-point kneeling position. And this time, we're going to extend opposite arm, opposite leg. So keep the hand and leg in contact with the mat to begin with. If you don't feel secure, that's fine. Just keep it to that position and then come back in and then change. That's still absolutely fine. If you want to give it a go, lifting your hands, we're going to extend and then breathe out, squeeze the tummy, lift, both at the same time. Gently lower, come back in to our neutral position. Change sides, so breathe out, lift, squeeze the tummy, down. Good, breathe out. So just watch how high you raise the leg. There can be a tendency to arch the back. So we don't want the leg up here, and you see how my lower back is arching. So keep the leg low. And do 2 more. Nose is staying down, looking at the mat the whole time. You're growing out through the length of your neck. Last one. Good. And then come back. Good. So it's a really nice exercise to work on the shoulder strength, the wrist and arm strength, and also the core as well. So we're going to go into another exercise that works on those muscles as well to start really building some strength into the upper body, and it's called leg pull in prone. Sounds a bit of a mouthful, but it's not as bad as it sounds. It's a beginner's version of getting into a plank. So you have that variation as well that you can go into plank if you would like to. We start in exactly the same position, so in a nice 4-point kneeling position. So take your hands directly underneath the shoulders again, knees are directly underneath the hips, and they're hip width apart. This time I'd like you to curl your toes under, and again, look down at the mat, keep the back nice and long, neutral spine and engage through the tummy. All we're going to do here is press our hands and feet down into the mat, and we're going to hover the knees just half an inch or so, and inhale with control, lower down, and relax. And we're going to do that again. So you're going to breathe in to prepare, breathe out, press through the hands, press through the toes, lift and hover. And then inhale, go back down to the mat. And you can see it's a really small movement. Doesn't have to be very big. What I'd like you to do is just have enough room underneath your knees to slide an envelope between your knees and the mat. The higher you come, the easier it is. That's cheating. So we want to try and keep as low as possible. Okay, we're going to do a few more. So breathe out, lift. Notice how I've used the word control a few times. It's easy on this one to come up and then just thump back down to the mat. And we want to try and avoid that if we can. Lift up and down. Now, if you're strong enough to go into plank, you can do from here. I'd like you to then lengthen the hands further forward, keeping the toes curled under. You're going to start the movement in exactly the same way. So you're going to lift and hover, then you're going to shoot yourself forward, go into your plank position, come back, hover, and then replace. And then you can do 2 more of those if you'd like to. So breathe in, breathe out, lift, hover, come back and down. 1 more, breathe in, breathe out, lift, shoot forwards, come back and down. Uncurl the toes, walk yourself back, give the wrist a breather. We're going to go into a quick stretch here called child's pose. So I'd like you to open the legs out, so you sink your bottom back onto your heels, open the knees, walk the hands forward, and just allow everything to relax down into the mat. Good, and then push the hands, come back up. And then we're going to lay on the mat on our back. So if you just spin yourself around, laying yourself down. We're going to go into an exercise called the shoulder bridge. Now, when we're laying on the floor in this position, I'd like you to think about your neutral pelvis. So tuck and tilt your pelvis forwards and backwards a couple of times and come halfway between your 2 extremes of your pelvic movement. Your feet are hip width apart and your knees are bent up and your arms are relaxed down by your sides. This movement is for spinal mobility. So what we're going to do is tilt the pelvis down towards the head to begin with. Okay, we're then going to squeeze the tummy, squeeze the bottom, and we're going to start peeling up the spine 1 vertebra at a time, nice and slowly. Coming up into what we call a ski slope position. My pelvis is nice and level at this point, so I haven't allowed 1 hip to drop down. We take 1 breath in at the top and breathe out. Really articulate through the spine, trying to get each vertebrae down on the mat 1 at a time. And then ending in our pelvic neutral position. So we're going to do 3 more of those. We're going to breathe in, breathe out, tilt the pelvis down towards my head, peeling up 1 vertebra at a time, nice and slowly. Just coming up as far as your shoulder blades. I'm not pushing through my arms. Breathe in, breathe out, peeling back down 1 vertebra at a time. Good. I'm going to do 2 more. Breathing in, breathe out, peeling up. Spine hopefully is feeling a little bit looser now. Push the knees away from you. Keep the pelvis level. Breathe in, hold. Breathe out, peel down. I'm going to do 1 more. Breathe in. Breathe out, tilt the pelvis. Peel the spine up nice and slowly. Try not to let anything wobble. Breathe in. Breathe out, peeling back down. 1 vertebrae at a time. Excellent. We're now going to go into an exercise called the scissors. So from this position here, what I'd like you to do is just lift one leg up into what we call tabletop position. And by that we mean that the shin is level and my knee is directly over my hip. So you're just going to lift the leg and then replace and change sides. So lift and lower. Lift and lower. So we're going to incorporate some breathing here to make sure that we're engaging our core when we do that. So we're going to breathe in to prepare. Breathe out, squeeze the tummy, and on the out breath, we're going to lift the leg. Inhale to lower. Straight away, you're going to breathe out again, squeeze the tummy, lift the other leg. Inhale, lower. So it's like a march-in pattern. If you like to take it up to the next level from there, and you have enough core strength to hold both legs up at the same time, and go into what we call double tabletop, feel free to come into double tabletop here, and then you can perform the scissors as toe taps. So you breathe out, one toe down, change, breathe out the other toe. So breathe out, inhale up, inhale up. Now this is going to be quite challenging on your core, and therefore you need to be strong enough so that your back doesn't start arching off of the mat when you're doing the toe taps. If that's the case, please come back down to the original position and go back into the march-in, because we don't want to cause any back issues. Good, so breathing out, lift, lower. We're going to do 2 more sets. Keep squeezing. Last time. Good. And then relax everything off for a moment. Brilliant. Bring yourself up to sitting, ready for the next exercise. So nice and slowly. Okay. We're going to go into an exercise called the roll downs. So, sitting up nice and tall, feet are hip width apart, and the hands can just be placed sort of wherever you like to place them. Just make sure you're not holding on to your legs. You're going to breathe into prayer, sit up nice and tall. And as you breathe out, you're going to C-curve through the spine. So imagine that I've karate chopped you sort of where your belly button is. But I'm keeping the rest of my body all lifted. So I'm not scrunching over and doing this. And breathe out, C-curve. And then I'm going to start lowering my body down towards the mat. My hands are sliding down my legs. And then I'm bringing myself back up, sitting. I gently sort of fold over my feet, over my knees, and then sit up tall. So I'll show you that again. So breathe in to prepare. Breathe out, C-curve through this lower part of the spine. Start lowering myself back down towards the mat. And then inhale, forward fold over your knees and sit tall. Good. We're going to see if we can do 4 more. So breathe out. Try to switch off your hip flexor muscles. They might want to grip in this exercise. And only go back as far as you can get yourself back up. It's very tempting to try and go down a little bit further, but you then need to get yourself back up. We're going to do 2 more. Notice how I'm keeping my chest lifted and my chin lifted. And my shoulders down. Last one, breathe out, C-curve first. Lower yourself down. Inhale up, over the legs, and sit tall. Excellent. We're going to change that into an oblique twist now. So we're going to take the same movement. So we're going to go back in exactly the same way as we've just done. And this time we're going to see if we can turn to the side, start lengthening the hand away from you and turn our head to look at our hand. Bring it back to the starting position. Come over the legs and sit tall. Good. Breathing out. C curve. Change sides this time. So I'm going to take my other arm behind me. Look round at my hand, get back, over my legs and up. Good, breathe out. And up. Sitting tall. Reach the hand away from you. You might feel your tummy muscles starting to get a bit tired now, so we're just going to do one more. And up. Excellent. We're going to work on the legs a little bit. So I'd like you to turn and lay on your side. Have one arm underneath your head and the hips stacked on top of each other. The bottom leg can be bent for stability or it can be lengthened, but that is going to be more challenging. We're then going to just go into some side leg lifts. So I'd like you to just breathe in, breathe out, lift the leg just to hip height. And lower. Core is engaged, so breathe out, lift and lower. So thinking here about trying to extend the leg away from you, so you're creating length down the side of the body and into the waistline. Good. So hopefully by now you're starting to feel the muscles that are working on the top of this leg. We're going to do 2 more. Good. From here, we're going to spin ourselves round and do that on the other leg. So laying yourself down in the other side this time, bending the knee up for some stability, lengthening the top leg away from you, and then you're going to breathe in, breathe out, lift. Again, thinking about this lengthening, so you're getting the space in that waistline. Two more. Last one. Good. Replace that leg back down to the floor. Feel like if you need to, you can just give it a little bit of a rub. We're going to turn onto our tummies this time. I'm going to go into an exercise called the swan dive. So, I'd like you to have your hands, I'll show you this way first of all, in this kind of goalpost position, okay? Your head is going to be down on the mat. I'm just going to talk to you so you can hear what I'm saying to begin with. But I'd like you to relax the arms down on the mat and without pushing into the hands, lift your chest and head away from the floor, okay? So, you're going to breathe in first. And then lift the breastbone away from the mat. Notice how my nose stays looking down at the mat during the exercise, and then relax down. I'm not pressing through my hands. I'm imagining that someone is lifting me up from behind my shoulder blades here. Squeeze in the bottom as you come up. Good. This should feel quite nice on your lower back. If it doesn't, then stop. We're going to do 2 more. Good. And relax there. When you've had a breather, push yourself back onto your hands and knees. And then we're going to finish with an exercise called threading the needle. So come back into your 4-point kneeling position, and I'd like you to begin by extending one hand up towards the ceiling, turning and looking up at your hand. And then from there, we're going to take that hand and you're going to feed it down in between your hand and your knees. Palm is up towards the ceiling. And then you're going to rotate the back, bum up towards the ceiling. And then feed it through again. Place the hand back down on the mat. We're going to change sides. Start by lengthening up towards the ceiling, opening up, looking at the hand. Feeding that hand down through. And twisting round. And again, up, down and through. And do 1 more on each side. Excellent. And then we're going to go into a kneeling hip flexor stretch. Really good exercise for anyone that spends a lot of time sitting down, whether that be driving or at the desk. So I'd like you to come into a high kneeling position to begin with. And then you're going to just bring one foot in front of you and the knee is bent. Here, keep the upper body nice and tall and tilt the pelvis down towards your front foot. You're aiming to feel the stretch on the hip flexor of the knee that is down on the mat. So if I tilt my pelvis towards my foot, I should be feeling it here in the front of my hip. We're going to hold that stretch for 30 seconds. And then change over sides and come onto the other leg. Hold that position for 30 seconds. Now bring yourself up into a standing position. We're going to take that now into a standing hamstring stretch. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to first of all take the weight into my supporting leg and extend one leg in front of me. I'm going to sink my bottom down away from me and I'm going to support my body on my other leg. So I'm going to place my hands on this leg. Sink my bottom back, keeping my upper body lifted and my toes are pointing up towards the ceiling. This is going to provide a stretch down the back of the leg. And we hold this stretch for at least 30 seconds. And then we're going to come up and then change onto the other leg. So sink the bottom down behind you, support yourself on the other leg, keep the upper body lifted, toes up towards the ceiling, and remembering to breathe. Good. Now I'm going to take that into a stretch that will stretch out the bottom muscles, so glutes. And we're going to start by taking the ankle over the opposite knee and sinking back into the stretch. So this can be quite challenging on the balance. You can hold on to the wall or again a desk or chair, anything like that. So use the wall for support if you need to. Fold the ankle over the knee and push your bottom back. And then stand up out of that one and change over onto the other leg. So fold the ankle over, push the bottom back, sink down into it. Standing tall. And we're going to finish the class with a corkscrew. So I'd like you to take a nice deep breath in, arms up to the ceiling. Breathe out, hands behind the head. Breathe in again, scrunch the shoulders up to the ears. Breathe out, push the shoulder blades down away from the ears. Breathe in again, lengthen hands up. And breathing out, push down, imagining that you're actually pushing down against something. We can do that twice more. Breathe in and stretch up. Big stretch. Breathing out, hands behind the head. Breathing in, scrunch the shoulders up to the ears. Breathing out, push the shoulder blades down. Breathing in, reach up. Breathe out, push down. Good, last time, nice big stretch. Breathing in, up. Breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, push down. Good, and just relax everything off.